I taught English as another language for 12 years. So I constantly interacted with people from around the world who, were trying to learn English, were from all different backgrounds, and they were all trying to relate and connect. And sometimes they were able to connect, even though there was a language barrier. But when they focused so much on the language, there was a disconnect. But some of the activities that I did with them was a mixture of visual, audios, and speaking, so that they could open up more doorways, more pathways to find ways to connect, because some of my students were very good at hearing the language. Some of them were very good at recognizing the words, and some of them were very good at organizing all of it together. And they all had their strengths and weaknesses, and it was just a very mind-opening experience to see how also the different cultures approached the obstacles, the hurdles. And I think with artwork, it is a language that also helps to try to connect people without, having to have a certain language. It is the language because it's the visual that they can see.
I think you've hit a really poignant topic, especially in the realm of things like collaboration, especially with people needing to work together. And often in times of collaboration, it can be difficult because different people have different styles. And we know that, again, within, let's say, a work setting, you have to get people together to do a thing. That's just, or a sport team, right? A football team, you bring people together and there's a particular goal we have to work towards, right? But in a more work setting, there's different ways and different things that people are bringing together. Yeah. And just as with art, there's this idea that different people are going to take different things from it. And so being cognizant of how different people engage, how different people speak, what people respond to, are all important underlying facets as it comes to something like collaboration.
Or even something I thought about with the students and also your collaborations. You've always got the senior person who has more experience, but you've always got that new person who needs to learn. And with this art and this collaboration, you get to have the experienced individual execute, and that new person get to see and actually learn and take part. And that gives them the ability to come onto the playing field and partake. Where I think, and they're looking at a piece of artwork, you might get a senior person and a new person, and all of a sudden they're on the same playing field and they get to share the ideas on the same level.
I love that. There's something about this notion of art in some ways being quite a good equalizer, right? Because it's that, again, alternative pathway where it's going, well, let's build a relationship. Let's build a connection. How do we find something that there isn't necessarily an inherent sort of authority structure to it, like a hierarchy of manager, junior person, but here's just a thing that we can engage on together and we can play around with together. And that is part of the human connection, right? It is, well, let me talk to a person about something that is just a little bit off to the side, and see how we might sort of speak different languages and engage and share different stories. And I think one of the greatest things about art is that art can act as that thing. Even if both parties don't like the artwork, cool, right? It's part of that conversation. Yeah. But on the flip side, I think sometimes this is a great source for different activities. I want to share one of my favorite stories, right, from one of Color Space's clients, where this art created something different for people. So, tech company, we've been working with them for maybe about a year or two at this point in time, doing that thing, changing artwork every 3 months, come in. We don't make much of a fuss about it. It's just they come in and they see different artwork every 3 months. Yeah. Lo and behold, it turned out that the team the entire company, of their own accord, decided to start a new challenge where whenever the artwork changed, people would rock up, dressed like the artwork. So say with this artwork here, someone might come dressed in purple, someone come dressed in blue, they'd wear like a bangle that represents the stripes, just things like that. And then they take a photo and then share it in the team.
Yeah.
Completely unprompted, completely unscripted. It was something that just formed out of this external intervention, so to speak.
And it created this team building opportunity.
That's right. Anybody could participate, right? And it added that human connection that people could laugh at it, could joke at it. People were not afraid to be silly about it.
Yeah.
And so I just think that these things become really important. Again, the broader point here is that with something like collaboration, there are multiple different pathways. And all of them can have a role to play, which is something that's, I think, really impactful about something like art.
Yeah, I think I've noticed whenever we've been bringing the artwork into the offices, sometimes I kind of look over my shoulder and I've got people curious to see what's going up, or they want to add their comments, or they want to ask questions. So we actually are seeing like curiosity and engagement from a lot of the audience members, and them wanting to know more. And it's great. A lot of them have said to me that they get excited when the new artwork comes in. You know, they might like the old artwork, but it's something like new and refreshing, because think about it. Like if you were in an office, just white walls every day, it's depressing. Here the artwork, you know, it comes in and it brings different energy depending on what the artwork is. It's going to bring different energy in, and they're going to have that feeling for just a short time, and then it's going to change again. So it keeps the atmosphere from being stagnant. I think it's inspiring creativity.